Hello, everyone. This is Matthew Brand, Mattthew Bran, Magnum as in XL, Creed like the boxer. So, I wanted to talk about something that I hit on just a little bit in the last episode. That was inherent rights, right? So, guns, self protection, protection of yourself in general is an inherent right. Um, and in that last episode, I mentioned how people they attack guns very quickly, right? Especially people who aren't familiar with guns, because it takes a little wisdom to understand the importance of guns and understand how scary they're not, right? Because people who advocate for gun, you know, about abolition of guns or reducing gun rights or whatever, the whole point is they aren't familiar with guns for whatever reason, and they're in the dark. They're not stupid, they're just in the dark. If you bump into stuff in the dark, you're not it's not because you're dumb, it's because you haven't been illuminated yet, right? So in going through the process to carry, a lot of people aren't going to go through that, but they have had booze. But booze, liquor, alcohol, I know I say that weird, forgive me, but that stuff causes way more damage than guns. And I haven't even gotten to tobacco and sugar, but alcohol is a little bit more of a quick contender, right? Like you can do a lot of damage after one night of drinking. Where smoking and sugar, right? A lot of times it's not going to take you out in the first day or even week or month or year you have it. But liquor, it can devastate you. It can devastate your family. It can make you kill yourself. Or influence you to. It can do a lot of things, and way more people get hurt by alcohol or those who consume it than people who use guns every year. And because people are familiar with it and it's an inherent right, like it's pursuing happiness, you're trying to relieve your misery, and people understand that, they accept it, and no one like they're the only people who want to get rid of booze are people who don't use it or have had their lives damaged by it, right? So if you're like a strict, strong Baptist and it's part of your religion to not consume alcohol, you don't use it. So what do you care if people drink? But if your life has been damaged by alcohol, you had a person in your family who was abusive because of booze, or you had to deal with a spouse who was alcoholic and had to, go to rehab and they mistreated you, left your family, or you had to leave them because of how damaging they were, or they cheated on you or did horrible things to you under the influence of alcohol, or even killed themselves due to it, tried to kill you due to it. You might despise alcohol, but I don't think we should get rid of booze, even though it hurts way more people than guns. The reason is because people are going to do it anyway. And we found that out already during Prohibition. And all it did was make a lot of people who would normally be just well meaning citizens and turn them into criminals. They raided places where people were drinking, and a lot of people who didn't drink would just shake their heads and be like, well, they shouldn't have been breaking the law. But it's inherent. You're setting people up for failure. Whenever inherent means, it's part of human behavior, right? Smoking weed, whatever, is part of human behavior. It's not that weed itself comes with being human, but trying to escape misery is going to be human. And as life gets more miserable, um, as the government and the world oppresses people's freedoms, like people are they feel miserable because they don't feel free to do the things that really they enjoy, whether they can't afford it, whether it's illegal, whether it's socially unacceptable for whatever reason. When people feel oppressed, they start to get misery, and then now you have all these people who are they feel trapped, and they're going to do things to escape it, whether it be smoking weed, drinking, the occasional recreational activity. The more you make these things illegal, the more you're making people into criminals for no real good reason, because the damage you're causing by making them more depressed, to me, far outweighs the people you help, right? And we learned that already. That was the lesson that history taught us from Prohibition. So something people should understand. Also, like, and I'm gonna try to wrap this up really quick with this. The reason people believe that, well, America doesn't really need guns because look at all the countries that don't have guns, right? That so why, if you got rid of guns, then life will be so much great, like all those countries. Well, America's more diverse than all of those countries. The United States is more diverse than all those countries probably put together. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And with that diversity comes a lot of issues. We have cultural diversity, we have wealth diversity, we have racial diversity, and we have diversity in like job markets and stuff like that. And all those things compete with one another sometimes. And with that competition, sometimes comes oppression. And with that oppression, it can be enforced with violence. It can be enforced with all kinds of things. Not to mention having a corrupt government sometimes, or corrupt government systems that prey on certain people. It doesn't matter who you are, right? From straight white males to the most transgender fluid person in the world. They can all be oppressed by certain things. The only thing that's universal is the rights that you have. Because if you pass laws that oppress people's freedoms, laws that laws that limit the things you can do, then the government can pick and choose who they enforce it on. And that's what's really usually the issue in our country. It's not usually what people can do, it's what people can't do, and the people who suffer from what they can't do. Because then everybody just shakes their head and go, like, well, they shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. But it's setting people up for failure because it's just part of human nature. It's like saying, like, oh, never go for a walk in the sunlight, or you know, maybe not as hardcore as don't breathe, but as hardcore as telling them not to ever see a loved one, or not to communicate with, or not to be a stupid teenager. It's just what happens. So thanks for tuning in. You let me know what you think, and I'm glad that you listened to this message. Hopefully it reaches somebody. Let me know in the comments section if you agree or not. All right, other than that, peace out.